morning precious. What? How you doing, baby? Happy Monday. I know ain't that how you be feeling on a Monday. And today on Coffee and Conversation with your girl, Shakenya. When you get a minute, go to that YouTube channel, Shakenya, and hit subscribe, guys. Look at some of the videos, and if you see any of them that you like, any of them, I don't care what it was about the video that you like, give me a chance. Share it on your social media. See if you get any traffic. Yeah, see if, because I'm trying to see if you get some traffic, right? Because hopefully they'll come back, and they'll come again, right? That didn't come out right. You know what I mean, though. They'll come back to the page and see some more videos and see all the other stuff that I'm doing, because it's not just coffee and conversation. Yeah, you come with me on my live, you gonna see me fixing stuff. Yep, actually putting up drywall. You gonna see some of that today. Yep, you will see me on the radio show. You will see me in my office with a family for my Attitude Adjustment Youth Program. So ain't no telling what you're going to see if you come along for the ride. But the first step is sharing one of the videos. Let's just concentrate on that first, right? Make sure you get a copy of my book, Dysfunctional Family Knot. You can get it from lulupublishing.com. Yep. Talks about a lot of stuff I dealt with as a child. Yeah. How I grew up, how I got through, how it's not affecting me today, right? So there was dysfunctions, but not like a not joke, because I turned out all right. So y'all, I got a new book. Look, and look what my oldest daughter does every time I get a new book. I know she want to be the first to write in it, so she always autographs it, right? I know. Ain't it the sweetest thing? It's the sweetest thing. I adore my children and they adore me. Right. That's why it's so sad that baby girl just threw me away. Like discarded trash. Just threw me away. We don't need this mama. This mama ain't doing enough. Yeah, we're going to throw this mama away. Right. So it is what it is. I'm working through it. How about you? Right. So how was your holiday? Yeah, mine was nice. Yes, I looked at y'all, some of y'all pictures. Y'all looked so nice for Easter. Yeah, but I hope you enjoyed your holiday. I did. With the children that I have left and the grandkids that stopped by, I made Easter baskets for everybody. I try to do that, you know, because I can't do much, but I do what I can, right? So one of the things I try to do Easter baskets for all the grandbabies. Hey, twin. So I made about 18 baskets. Yeah, and they wasn't big or nothing like that. They all little candy, couple trinkets, just to let the kids know I be thinking about them, you know, because I can't see them like I want to see them, right? Like in Plan A, I would be able to spend more time with my family, right? I'd be able to go do just drop-bys, passing by. Hey, how y'all doing? Stop by. I can't do that in Plan B. Plan B got me doing the work of 5 people, so I'm always working, I'm always busy, always doing something, right? So it might be a good thing to you, but in Plan A, I wouldn't have to work so hard right now, right? So it's taking me away, and it's also taking me away because of what happened. I'm in the restoration process with the rest of the children, right? So it's taken away because you got to take steps back. So if you're going through a restoration process, whether it be with your child or whether it be with a past friend or relationship, you know, you got to slow pace it. And sometimes you got to go back, right? So when it comes to children, I have to go back and make sure that everything is still intact. Right? The restoration process is bringing them back to me, right? But as they come back, I have to talk to them more. I have to try to figure out what do they still possess? What do they still know? What do I have to go back and reteach? What do I have to make an understanding of, right? What's misunderstood? Because a lot happened when she was pulled out. See, when you don't have a reason to do that, that's why it's a process. That's why CPS has a process when they remove children, right? They get an allegation, then they go and then they investigate the allegation, and then they come in and they try to provide resources to see if there's anything they can do to make sure the children stay in the home. And in the event that you don't do what they suggest you to do in a timely manner, then yes, taking of your children would be the next step, right? So when you have a parent that just removes a child, stop bringing a child over, there's no due process, there's no process at all, there's no procedure. Hey, Philando, I need you. I'm going to text you in a minute. I need you. Yeah. I need your services. I know they came off a little blunt, but that was the Lord, because I was going to call you when I finished coffee and conversation, and here you are. Ta-da! Right? So, yeah, so when she was put out, there's no reason. You can't account for it. It's just a parent just mad, and they don't like you no more, so they don't want the baby to like you, so they do everything they can so the baby don't like you, and then they just pull the baby out your life because now the baby is a willing participant because they don't like you. There's nothing that baby shouldn't have liked about me. Yeah. And that's just not me blowing my... I'm just a good mom. Yeah, I'm very understanding. I'm not judgmental. I'm very patient. Yeah, I teach you everything that I know, right? If it's something that you don't understand and something that I don't know, we learn together, right? So yeah, I'm not just a typical mom, and I cook. And I clean, right? Meaning I fold your clothes and bring them to you if they're in the laundry, right? I mean, I'm a mom just like you, right? So to not have that opportunity to be a mom to one of my children, that shit is heartbreaking. Ooh, Fix It, Jesus a Christian show, right? So it's like just to throw a mom away. People don't do that, especially not kids. She was 15 and a half. How could she even be old enough to know what she need and don't need and what she want and don't want? And who would be the facilitator of that, right? Because the other parent can't do that, right? Because we very well know children lie, right? So not saying mine did. I don't know what happened in my situation. That's the crazy part. I still don't know. But for the most part, children lie. So if you're sharing a child, two different households, if a child comes to you with an outrageous story or they come with you with something, I don't want to go back over there, it's your job as the parent to do your due diligence and call that other parent to find out what happened. You want to get every side of the story that you can. You can't just go off the child telling you anything, because especially if you're dealing with a manipulative parent, the child is learning how to lie. Right? So if the fact that you're lying in front of people, lying around that baby and getting away with it, of course the child think that lying is okay. So I'm quite sure if your guy is not talking and the child know you're not talking, the child is in the middle, the child is going to manipulate that situation, and they're going to lie. And they're going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell the parent what they want to hear. And then at the end of the day, nobody's on the same page and nobody knows nothing. And that's a good reason why you shouldn't use a child as a messenger. So, y'all should have a better relationship. Y'all should have a relationship where you can call and talk to them about anything. Yeah, and especially if it pertains to their child. Y'all share that baby. It's their child too, right? So, anybody playing I was able to visit people. Yeah, now I'm not. I'm spending time with the children. We're going through the restoration stage. So I spend a lot of time with them, backstepping and backtracking, going over things that they should know, things that I know I taught. Right? Yeah, because you got to think about it. Once the baby was pulled out, if somebody goes so far to do so much to pull her out to where she hasn't been in communication with us for the last 6 years, obviously it was something really bad. So if it was something that I was doing that was really bad to her, obviously I was doing it really bad to the other children, right? So now you got those children questioning their identity, questioning what's right, what's wrong, what was I doing, what should they be doing now? I don't know, because obviously what we was doing was not right. And you got to think about it. Before the baby was pulled away, everybody was progressing. Everybody was progressing in the manner as they should. So for him to pull one child out, I don't know if he was just saving one. Why save one child, right? There were other children still involved. I was making sure in my plan A that everybody was progressing as they should at the same time that they should. So nobody was left behind. It was like everybody was holding hands. As I take a step, they took a step. As I take another step, they take another step. So we were all aligned in the level of maturity that they were, in the level of progression, their growth and development. Everything was intact, right? Because if I had a child that was falling behind, I'm gonna spend a little more time with that child to make sure they get caught up with the rest of us. Because you don't want to leave nobody behind. So like I told you, at this stage of the game, the baby is the only one that got everything that I instilled in her. She's the only one that's furthering her education. She's the only one that has a business like me. She's the only one that's still dealing with political, from what I hear, the chatter that I hear, right? Still dealing with the NAACP, still dealing with civil rights. All that will stem from my plan A, right? She's the only one with a passport. There's no way she's the only one of my children that can check that box. All three of my children and my little brother should be able to check that box. But when she was pulled out, their growth was stunted, because the illusion and the perception is what they were doing all this time wasn't right. But yet and still, the baby is still on the same plan. Hey, baby, how you doing today? You all right this morning? You doing good? Okay, how was your holiday? You good? Okay, I might have some work for you in a couple days too. He's having a moment. We're gonna let him have it. Yeah, it's the guy that be up here, homeless person, but he go through his thing. You don't want to mess with him too much, but you do want to let him know you're here, because you just want to let him know you around. He ain't by himself, right? Okay. So, yeah, so thought trying to get him back, right? Get him back on track is what I'm doing. I'm trying to get my children back on track, and I'm trying to get our relationship back on track. Because when the baby was pulled out, it was destroyed, and everybody went their own way. And you got to keep in mind, I raised all my children with the team mindset, the team aspect. We all together in this. Come together, we lead together, right? So, yeah, by him doing what he did, it sent everybody on their own separate path, right? And that's not good or bad, right? This is about all how you look at it, right? So, I'm glad that I kept them in church. Yeah, I believe the reason why, me being able to have the restoration process, because some relationships never get mended. From what we went through, some relationships never get restored, right? So for me to have that opportunity, right, a lot of that got to do with me raising them up in church, right? A lot of them got to do with believing in God, right? And those morals and values that I raised them with. It's very important. What type of morals and values are you raising your child with? Right? Like, I'm raising them with the same morals that I grew up with. Because you got to keep in mind, I was raised by my grandmama, my mama's mama. But I also had my daddy's mama and great-grandmama in my life, as well as my great-aunt in my life. So I was raised by elders. So a lot of the morals and values that I have come from them, right? So, yeah, definitely respecting your elders. Definitely respecting your parents, right? So doing what's right when nobody's looking, basically. Treat people how you want to be treated, right? Honesty. All this would have come from that ethics class that you taught your children. All that would have came from that ethics class that you taught your children. So honesty, yeah, not lying about nothing. Yeah, it burns me for a child to lie. I used to whip my kids' ass for lying. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I did. Yeah, pop them real quick. Stop lying, right? Because there ain't no reason to lie. It's so easy to tell the truth, and this is what they're raised upon. Yep, it's so easy. So it's hard for them to lie to me now. They might tell me stuff I might not want to hear before they lie to me. And that's a good thing, believe it or not. Yep. So, yeah, treat people how you want to be treated. Yep. Anything that's going on. Yep. Never doing anything to compromise their morals and values, right? Never doing anything that they know is wrong, right? So that's what they was raised up under. So it helps with the restoration process. Yep. It's not hard helping them connect the dots. Yeah, it's not hard helping them connect the dots when you do have these two things in place, but you got to think about it. By me teaching them and doing as much as I was doing, it's a lot of dots to connect. Because you got to keep in mind, I was doing everything that I tell y'all to do. Yep, everything I tell you should be teaching, I taught. Everything I tell you should do, and I was still doing. Right? So, yeah, it's a lot of dots to connect to make sure that all the components is still there and working correctly. Right? Because we have been doing so many things the same way for so long. And now that the baby been pulled out, just within these last 6 years, everything is different. Everything is like survival mode. Everything is like just different. Even yesterday with the holiday, we didn't do a traditional holiday. Like my son cooked Saturday, right? They was over there chilling. I didn't come until yesterday in the evening. It's real different now. Right? Not saying that the holiday wasn't important, but it's less important that the baby is not a part of it. And I'm here to tell you that. And it's not even about the baby. It's about our Jesus. It's about our, you know what I'm saying? Not even about all that. But the holiday itself of being with family, celebrating it, and just, it's hard for me. Right? So I had to do a lot of stuff that I wanted to do for self to make me happy before I even went over there with them. Just to make sure my energy was right. And what made me happy was making sure my yard was clean, getting rid of some of the debris, cleaning up, straightening up the downstairs, prepping for my day today. Just a lot of little stuff that I'm working on my room, working on my ceiling because I had some leaking. Yeah, that made me happy. And then I was able to go and be with them and enjoy them for a short time, right? So, yep, everything I told you I taught them, did what I did. Thank you to get from doing all the healed individuals free from mental disorders. Yep, so with me doing everything that I told you to do, what would you think the product would be for my children? Just from everything I told you to do. Yeah. Yeah. They would be healed. Yeah, they wouldn't be suffering from any type of disorders. Yeah. So if they did experience anything or anything to that effect, yeah, they were definitely attended to. Right? So meaning that if it was me doing what I need to do extra to help them heal, if me getting them help to help them heal, whatever it was, yep, they will be healed, free from disorders, knowing that they can receive help. They will be free from drugs and alcohol. Yeah, because I taught at a very young age what it does to the body, right? I started this youth program when they were really young. So all the things that I was doing and putting in place to help those children, my kids were getting helped as well. So yeah, drugs and alcohol would definitely not be on the table, because you got to keep in mind my mom suffered from drug addiction and abuse, so I saw it my whole life. So that's probably why I don't drink and use drugs, because I know what it does to you, right? So I made sure my children were very aware of the damage that it does once you get started. It's so hard to kick the habit, right? So why even start? So they'll be free of drugs and alcohol. Definitely would be out there helping the community and volunteering, buying up the block type attitude and energy, right? Supporting black-owned businesses, supporting and promoting black-owned businesses, buying black, involved in civil rights, involved in anything that has to do with politics and what's going on out here with our people. Yeah, that would be the product that you would get. They would have their own business. Yeah, they would be homeowners, good credit. Yeah, they would actually be educated, highly educated. So yeah, that's just the foundation though of the product that will come from everything that I told you I did with my kids. It's a shame that the baby the only one. She's not the only one that's doing, because my other children, they're doing better, right? It's just they're not where they should be, and there's just a mere version of themselves, meaning they're not acting on their full potential because their growth was stunning. Right? So yeah, to know that somebody still pushed the baby and carried her on with the same morals and values that I instilled, it shouldn't have been made to look like a bad thing that I was doing, right? If anything, everybody should have been in cooperation with me, and we should have been still continuing to work together, because I thought we was working together. I swear to you, I thought we was working together all those years. I didn't think anything was wrong all those years. Yeah, because how could it be? She was progressing. All my other children were progressive. Why would I think anything was wrong? Yeah, she didn't give me any signs. All the signs that I tell you to look for when the kids come back from their baby mama or baby daddy, yeah, she didn't show no signs. Yeah, because you can tell your kid come back from their baby mama or baby daddy, they sad, they withdrawn, they not the same as they were. Something happened. Something's going on. You need to be aware of, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. You need to know what's going on over there. That's why you should have a good connection with your baby mama and baby daddy, because you should be able to call. What happened? Something happened because Junior acting this way, that way. Junior did this, Junior. Something going on over there. And then y'all should be able to talk about it and figure out what y'all need to do to help Junior. Right? So we are doing better, spending more time together, me and my kids. Because you got to think about it. We don't do nothing together now. Everybody work, got their own lives, doing their own thing. And that's not good or bad. But you got to keep in mind, I raised them up as a team. So we were working together. We used to spend a lot of time together. We was cleaning together. We was recording the trailer for my book together. We was working on paint jobs and stuff together. So we was always working together, right? So to be separated and apart and not catching each other now, everything is out of sync now with us. So we trying to make the best of it, right? That baby, she was a big part of our life. Yeah, a big missing piece of a puzzle. Yeah. So yeah, we did everything together. So it's hard being separate now and everybody doing their own thing. Because that's usually hard to separate children that grow up together in the same house. They typically are raised with the same morals and the same values, right? So for my other children, for us to be going through the restoration process and for that baby still not to be trying to come back, on something ain't right. Yeah. She got to be suffering from disorders, right? Because if you raise a child up how I raised you up, your conscience got to kick in, right? Those morals and values got to take. Something within her should be like, this is wrong. Something got to be eating her up inside or telling her that it's wrong. And I'm quite sure it causes anxiety whenever my name is mentioned, or whenever I'm quite sure it probably brings up anger issues, because if you go down that rabbit hole, if somebody's asking her questions about us and our side of the family, I'm quite sure she can't answer. I'm quite sure she's going to look stupid along the way, to the point where the people might not even want to deal with her. So for the fact of her being able to live like she's living and nobody's saying nothing and nobody's treating her a certain kind of way, instead she's being rewarded, That gotta go against somebody's morals and values. Yeah, for somebody telling her to disrespect your mama, somebody saying be disobedient, somebody saying don't talk to your mama. If somebody's instructing a child or encouraging a child to do so, that got to be compromising some morals and values somewhere, right? Because that ain't something that we do, not as a people. Yeah, you get beat up not respecting your own mama, right? So something ain't right? So yeah, it's helping with the restoration phase. Yeah, because you got to think about it. The things that he's allowing her to do, he wouldn't do to his own mama, right? So when you got somebody that's willing to compromise their own morals and values just to get back at you, the child is in the middle of all of that, because the child is the one that's being used as a pawn to do so. Again, you got her disrespecting me and being disobedient and not being in my life, but he would never do that to his own mother. You gotta ask yourself, well, something ain't right. Something ain't right. So yeah, that would be the product. Brought up same morals and values. I was brought up with, I raised my children with the same morals and values. So I'm kind of old school. It helps in the restoration process. I think that was it, guys. I think I wanted to talk about the restoration process. Wanted to talk about your morals and values. Your child might be suffering from disorders. If they are, because anxiety and anger issues might seep in as a result of them doing something that they know is wrong, right? Yeah, I think that's it. Mother be allowed to me, there's no way. Yeah, I think that's it, y'all. Yeah, like when that text was sent to me and she called me by my first name and asked me if she should give me something from others, that is just beyond me. Yeah, that right there. But for a dad not to encourage, that right there is a manipulation tip. Yeah, when they allow the child to just go off their own, they don't really say much. They don't say yes or no. They just allow the child to go on and allow the child to develop their own. Yeah, but they plant the seed by not saying nothing. Like, this should have easily been avoided with him just saying, that's your mother, you should love your mother, never call her by her first name. A child should never call an adult by their first name, right? And it should have been easy for him to put that back into place. It's hard for me to think that it's so much distance been put in place, as close as I was with my children. Yeah, somebody was working extra hard. Okay, y'all, I gotta get out of here. I think that's it. Yeah, I'll pick back up tomorrow, y'all, because I gotta get out of here. All right, y'all, enjoy y'all Monday. Hey, Beth, I'm out. Mwah.